Welcome to the Miracle You, guiding you on the journey towards finding passion and purpose and how to discover, create, and live a life by your design. Whether your success has been plentiful or your missed opportunities have been overwhelming, we can help you become a more empowered, masterful person and show you how to share your gift with the world. It's time to inspire change from within with the host of the Miracle You, Vince Kramer.
Hello, everyone. We are your hosts, Mary and Vince Kramer. Welcome to Waking Up, where we share discussions, insights, and information about science, spirituality, and living a life of your design.
Hi, welcome to the very first episode of Waking Up with Vince and Mary. This podcast is just going to be part of our normal original podcast, The Miracle You. We just want to spend some time sharing with you a little bit more about the work that we're doing and also share with you our insights on some of the podcasts that we've had before. So as a part of the Miracle You podcast, we'll have several episodes a month just to share with you that information. Today, we're going to talk about what's included in the podcast as we move forward with each of the episodes and how it can be something that helps you on your journey.
Hi, everyone. This is Mary, and it's such a fun opportunity for me and for the two of us to share our journey with you. I wanted to start with how this all came about. You probably know that we've written a book and it highlights Vince's journey. And I wanted to say that a lot of my journey is really beginning now. It's living with Imagine Miracles, learning, growing, expanding, and stepping into the new paradigm. There are times that are very glorious and very challenging. And Vince and I thought that it would be helpful to bring you alongside us. I think there will be times where you feel we're behind you, and there's times where we're beside you and where we're ahead of you. And to me, that's probably the most important thing we could do is all be together, sharing and leading and cheering each other on as we, again, step into this new paradigm.
As Mary said, the book that we've written, Awakening Through Moments of Choice, is something that really shares with you the journey that we went through as a couple, as I went through, as the book title says, the awakening process. And the stories in the book will give you an opportunity to relate to what we're talking about and what we're sharing through the podcast, what we're sharing through the Imagine Miracles materials. Imagine Miracles is really, truly the combination of the unique purposes that Mary and I found for ourselves, and then noticing that there was also a purpose that we had together. And really, that's what Imagine Miracles brings into the fold. And writing the book was just really our opportunity to tap into what was our journey so we could help everyone see their journey and just be a part of it as who we are as individuals, and as I said, who we are as a couple.
I think it's important to take a few minutes, Vince, and chat about what you brought up, that we each have a divine intent and we have a combined one, because so many of us as humans are always asking, why are we here and who are we and what is this all about? Is it just about attaining the great job, the great car, the great house, the great family? And then we get all of that and realize something is missing. And again, that's what you've put in the book. But why don't you share what your divine intent is?
My divine intent is to raise the vibration of the world towards the higher frequencies. I call it raising it towards joy, which is one of the higher emotional frequencies, and also to open hearts. And as people get the book and read through the later chapters, actually the mid chapters of the book, I think they'll understand that part of it, raising it towards joy, but then also to open hearts, where I found out in a channeling early in our relationship that part of my journey was also to open hearts, much like yours. Please share what yours is so everyone knows the journey that we're on.
Yes, through connection, opening hearts. So I've asked myself at least 100 times, what does that mean? And honestly, I'm learning more and more and more that through connection is really my connection with my authentic self. How do I expand and listen to the divine wisdom that is wanting to get my attention, wanting me to listen so that I can follow it for my own self and I can have an open heart. And then in doing so, assist others with opening theirs.
So as we look at the combination of our divine intents of raising the frequency of the world, increasing the vibration of the world, opening hearts, and also in connection, which we try to bring to the world in community, the community with us, but also community with each other. We've really opened the door to helping people find what their unique purpose is, and to hopefully through the podcast share that information with you to help you find, or at least get started in finding that exact reason that you came to Earth. The interesting thing about this podcast, it's different than other podcasts because it's going to be a podcast within a podcast. It's something that we have been asked by so many people to expand on some of the information that we've shared in other podcasts. What's Imagine Miracles really all about? When you're talking with your guest, Vince, about the different experiences that they've had in wake-up calls, or they've had in finding or looking for who they are, there's so many things that was just shared kind of like almost happenstance, or at least just leading into the next question for our guest. And people ask us, could you share more about that? We're interested to learn where these wake-up calls come from, why they come, to share in a little bit more depth, what we do with a wake-up call once we've had it, and what awakening means, and what does moment of choice mean, and then how do I start living this life that you talked about on the podcast. So we really put our heads together and said, as we move into 2023, let's change the format of the podcast up a little bit. Still bring some guests on from time to time to give everyone hope, to help them see that they're not alone in what they're feeling, or they're not alone on the journey and the obstacles they experience in their journey. But then also, how can we bring more of that information? How can we have some discussions around what each of these podcasts are bringing, and some of the other stuff that we do, and have an opportunity to share new ways of thinking, like Mary said, the new paradigm, and coming into just a new way to share so many things with you, because it truly is our divine intents, the divine reason that we brought into this world individually, but also together in a soul agreement to help you find your path and to help you walk that path more fully.
And I think that I don't know, what do you have, like 200 interviews that are all in alignment with what we're sharing? It gives everyone who's listening a sense of, yes, that has happened to me too, and I didn't know why. And, oh, if I have what we're terming a wake-up call, there really is a big purpose behind it. And I think it's so helpful to hear other people that are going through something or have gone through something, and then, like you said, to give hope. We certainly do need hope all the time. And especially as the years roll on and things are changing so rapidly, we need a place, a community, a resource for hope.
And each and every one of us has this journey where our higher selves are creating these opportunities for us. And what I have found is that so many people, Mary, are in this place where, oh, well, maybe life is good enough, or it's not going to get any better than this. And with the Miracle You podcast, we help people see that, you're constantly getting those messages to look at life in a different way. But hopefully, as we delve deeper into ways to discover, ways to create, ways to truly live the life that each person is meant to live, that divine intent, that driven life, if you will, hopefully through waking up, we can share some information that will help people and maybe once again see that they're not alone, and maybe reach out a little bit further than they normally would, because we get into this place that life's not going to change, especially as we get older. But let's talk a little bit about some of the things that we're going to discuss in the episodes of Waking Up, so people know what to expect.
Yeah, that sounds great. And I'm so excited that we're doing this. And I do think it's going to be such a gift to many people. So why don't you start with what you think are some of the top subjects?
Well, I think the way that you and I have discussed moving forward, looking at what opportunities that we can bring up, that we can share in discussion format, and hopefully get some questions through iTunes or through our YouTube channel, or wherever someone sees the podcast, we can get some comments back to ask some questions. And some of the major areas that I see, first of all, Imagine Miracles is really a business for transformational growth. And we've got so many different programs and so many opportunities to discuss some of the information that's available there about discovering your divine intent, your unique purpose, which we deliver through Take a Quantum Leap. And there's so many opportunities and so much discussion that can be around that. We've got a year-long program, a year-long mastermind called Quantum Circle, where we could use some information from that to bring up some really exciting discussions, especially to help people see and understand where they are in life right now. But then also just the different concepts of science and spirituality, because as I went through my process, and for those that have read the book already, understand that science and spirituality played such a big part in my life, in learning that there is so much to help us live life at that higher vibration, to create the things that we want, to manifest into our life those things that will support us on our journey and bring us to that higher vibration. So the Imagine Miracles programs will give us some opportunities. I think also there's been so many podcasts, as Mary said, almost 200 episodes now of the Miracle You, where people have shared their journeys and their stories. And we've given an idea of the wake up people have had, and some of the steps along their journey, but there's so much that hasn't been discussed at a little, let's just say at a greater detail, to help people see, well, that's how it's done. Oh, that's what I could do. So using other podcast episodes, I think would be huge. The book, Awakening Through Moments of Choice, that we wrote together, has a lesson in every single chapter. And I think it'd be exciting to, through the waking up, give us an opportunity to share how we learn some of these lessons that we put in the book through the stories, and maybe take the stories a little bit further, and kind of bring in some of your podcast episodes. And then there's also the channeling. that we can bring the monthly channeling from the roundtable, their lesson in to share with people.
That all sounds great. And the cool thing is that the monthly channelings that are available to anyone who want to attend online, it's free. It's where we as a community get to hear, let's say, new paradigm thought and principles that maybe we haven't heard before, or an expansion on them. So it's never the same each month. And it will be fun to talk about how you and I implement what the roundtable teaches each month into our own personal lives. And maybe that will be a help to other people who are hearing some of these new concepts, but they're just not too sure, well, how am I going to live that? Because everything is about taking action and living this life of our design.
One of the advantages that we have is we bring this information forward in this podcast. We're able to use some of the experiences of the people that we've worked with, some of our clients' experiences,
definitely,
to help others see that, oh, okay, I've experienced that, or I've not experienced that, because we feel so much pull towards living our purpose. We feel that pull or calling, and know that there's got to be something different to life, but we're not familiar with the roadblocks that pop up, or some of the implementation that can or cannot or doesn't happen. Let's just put it that way. And by using the examples of some of our clients, of course, we will honor the coach client privilege and not share any names, but we can share the situations, we can share the circumstances, and what people learn from different things. So many opportunities for us to have conversations around helping people live that life they're meant to live, really design the life that they want to live and live it.
Also, I think when we talk about these clients, we can also highlight how their lives have changed, getting to know who they are authentically, learning to listen to the authentic voice within, and learning how to step into the new paradigm. They've actually made some very big life changes that are of service to humanity. And I think that it will be so much fun to highlight those, and the how they did it.
That's for sure. And I really want to re-emphasize all of that for everyone, that, the purpose of the podcast is to share the experience that Mary and I have had, to share the experience our clients have had, and really help people see that there is so much more for each and every one of us in this world, and to realize that some of the old rules, let's say, some of the old ways of living, or how we believe we are supposed to live, kind of hold us back from some of these things. And as we see examples, or we share examples with you from our clients, we share some examples from our stories, and discuss around those different subjects what we've learned and what others can take away from it. We think it'll be so helpful for you to really decide, is there more for me, and how can I get that more? And maybe ask yourself, what am I truly being called to? I think that's a way for you, through this podcast and through our discussions, to see life in a new way, to understand some of these new paradigm terms or new paradigm ways of thinking that you might have heard from someone else, or maybe you've never heard at all, how to look at those in a way that can be empowering to you, instead of not having that information available, because unfortunately we don't teach this stuff in school. We don't share this stuff inside our families, because the collective as a whole still isn't tapped into this new paradigm way of thinking.
I can't wait till it happens, though. How about you?
Oh, I'm ready for it. That's for sure. And I'm ready for me. It's a journey.
It
It's a
is.
never ending journey. And I want everybody to know that it's not, I know the information and I've got it. And I can stop because I know the information, because you still have to move that information from your head to your heart. And as you start moving that information into your heart, when you start feeling more comfortable with it, it's going to give you more confidence. It's going to give you a better understanding of the next step. And sometimes not knowing the next step is the scariest thing along the journey.
And it's really hard when you do feel stuck and hopeless in that stuckness. When is that next step going to come, or what is it going to look like? I think one of the greatest questions that paralyzes all of us is how. How am I going to do it? What's it going to look like? How?
That's for sure. And how keeps us stuck more than any other question in the world. So, if you look back at your life in the younger years, and maybe even just recent years, there's a lot of things that we don't do because we're not quite sure how to do it. And I think that's the exciting thing of the way that, first of all, Imagine Miracles brings this material, and how Mary and I look at sharing this information, and especially through Waking Up. This isn't about telling you how to do something. It's not about convincing you that this is the right way or the wrong way. It's giving you some alternatives and an opportunity to look at the world around you, to look at your life, to look at you, who you are, to look at your community and say, do I want things to be different than they are right now? And if I do, what are the opportunities out there for me to be different? What are the opportunities out there for me to understand and see that this yearning I have inside of me, or this ache that I have inside of me, that's calling me to something more, to that's calling me to live even in a different way, because there's more for me. We want to give you the opportunities. So this podcast isn't about convincing anyone of anything. It's putting this new paradigm information out there, discussing how it's affected us, how it's affected our clients, how it's affected our listeners, and then giving you the opportunity to decide what's the best way for you to move along your journey.
Exactly. And I know that you'll explain exactly where all these episodes are available, but hopefully in learning more about us and learning that we're here as partners with you, you'll find a rich, trusting community, not only with the two of us, but with other people that are joining our community and sharing and living and expanding.
And keep in mind, we want to hear from you. So, any of the platforms that you go to get this information, please leave comments. Please subscribe to the channel so we have an opportunity to interact with you.
That would be great.
The materials that we have to share here, we want your input. We want to know what subjects that you would like to talk about. We'd like to know where you feel stuck, or where you found ways to get past being stuck. So please, any platform that you go to, subscribe to that platform. Leave us comments so we know what you're thinking. Leave your questions so we can share with you exactly what we hope will help you find your answers to the problem that you see in front of you, but from an aspect of looking at things, as Mary said earlier, from that new paradigm way of looking at things. So you can find us on Facebook. The company or the business page is Imagine Miracles. So just go to Facebook and type in Imagine Miracles. You'll be able to find our page. You can join without any issues at all. You don't even need to be accepted into that Facebook group. You can find Mary and I using our names, Mary Kramer or Vince Kramer, for our personal Facebook page. We have a YouTube channel where every one of the podcasts gets posted right after it goes public. And you can find that on the Imagine Miracles YouTube channel. Every episode gets posted Monday morning at 5:30 in the morning on the East Coast. So you've got that information to pop on your headset and listen to the episode as you drive to work on Monday morning. So we'll make all that information available to you on the show page. Just go to themiracleu.com. We'll make sure that information is posted so you can find us. Please join us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more information about Waking Up with Vince and Mary and the Miracle You podcast.
And once again, we want to hear from you. So we're super excited to be with you again soon, and we'll be looking for your questions if you have some. We would love to bring them on a podcast. So as we finish this episode today, I just want to thank everyone for joining us. And remember, we launch a new episode every Monday morning at 5:30 Eastern Time. And until next time, have a miracle day.
You've completed this episode of The Miracle You, but we have plenty more to help you discover your own personal passion and purpose. Head over to themiracleu.com for free resources to assist you on your journey, as well as register for our free webinar, Discover Your Miracle Life, 3 Mind Awakening Steps Toward Your Unique Purpose, or apply for a one-on-one Your Life, Your Way breakthrough session and discover your next best step on your journey. All available exclusively on our website. That's themiracleu.com. We look forward to sharing more experiences of passion, purpose, and life by design next time, right here on The Miracle You.
Okay. I don't have episode 1 in front of me.